Let me just check.
Good morning.
Yo. I just see Brayden. Hi, Brayden.
Hello?
There's Eric.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Eric.
All right.
Eric, I can see myself on the back of your laptop. It's weird.
Physics rules.
Yep. Jose sideways again. We're all good. Braden has an arm coming out of his right shoulder. It looks healthy. Oh, even better.
Yep, it's Beetlejuice.
I can't change my background. It doesn't let me.
I don't know how.
Anthony, that's because you have an Android.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why we don't add you in group chats either.
Wow.
Yeah.
Truth finally comes out. All right. So here's what we'll do. We'll go over the kinetics test, which was great, and I put it in. It goes into fourth marking period. It's so late. Overall, you guys did really, really well. So we'll go over the test questions. We'll go over the practice questions from yesterday, and then we'll talk about some new stuff on AP Classroom and anything new I found out. And then we'll go from there. Good? How's everybody doing so far?
I'm good.
Good? So we're out till at least May 15th. Maybe we come back May 16th. I don't know. We'll find out.
Well, that's a Saturday.
Let's go.
All right. I don't have a calendar. Like every day is the same. They all end in Y, and I'm up all the time. So I don't really know where we are. So we'll come back the 18th, maybe. Who knows?
Maybe.
Who knows?
That's a month from tomorrow.
There we go. We could do this and just go crazier and I'll come back looking insane. I might have hair by then. Who knows? All right, so here we go. So let me share with you guys the test page and then we'll go from there. All right. First one, the order of reaction to I minus is 1, not 3. 1. Because I is raised to what power?
1.
First. Okay, so it's to the first power. 2, according to this rate law, what happens if you increase the concentration of hydronium atom? The reaction rate increases. And that's it, so it's A. 3, if B disappears at 5 molars per minute, C appears at twice that rate, so it's 10 molar per minute, or D. 4, the reason why you have a slow chemical reaction, well, it's not A, B, or C, because those all increase the rate, so it's got to be D. If the molecules are held together really strongly, it's not going to proceed quickly. 5, the answer is A. So it's exothermic, so it's 50 kilojoules lower on the product side than the reactant side. And it takes 125 kilojoules to get to the top. So we would just take 125 and add it to 50 and we get 175. And 6, what does a catalyst not do? All right, it doesn't do C. Catalysts don't make reactions exothermic. They don't make reactions endothermic. They just change the mechanism and make the activation energy lower, but they don't make things exothermic or endothermic. Any questions on the first 6? What's up, Eric? A question, Eric, or just stretching?
Oh, no, I don't. No, I'll just stretch.
All good. All right, 7, for the rate you sub E out, and replace it with B. And, you sub E out in the slow step in step 2 and replace with AB from the first step. So you'd get A times B, or D A times B squared. For 8, how is the formation of ammonia related to the consumption of nitrogen? Ammonia appears at twice the rate that nitrogen is consumed. So do B as in boy. 9, excuse me, the answer is B. 10, if you add the solid sodium hydroxide to this reaction, nothing occurs. Both the reaction rate and K remain the same because OH is not in the rate law. So even though you add more concentration, since it's not in the rate law, you don't change the rate. And then for 11, if you add a catalyst, what would change? I would change because the activation energy would decrease. And if I changes, so does II. But the Roman numeral 3 does not change, so the answer is C. Any questions about any of the multiple choice? All good? All right, so that was just a number of questions you got right. Divided by 11 times 50. Right? And then for the open-ended, we did number 1 already. So we just look at 2 and 3. So the balance reaction, trying to find where I wrote down my answers to. It's 2NO plus 2H2 produces 2H2O. Here we go.
Wait, isn't there a nitrogen left over too?
Oh, and plus N2, thank you, yes. 2NO plus 2H2 plus 2H2O N2. I have to answer things in front of me. For 8, identify the intermediates. The intermediates are N2O2 and N2O. And then the reason that they're intermediates is that they are produced in one step and then consumed later on. Some of you wrote they don't appear in the overall reaction, and that's true. Intermediates don't do that, but what else doesn't appear in the overall reaction that's not an intermediate? I'll give you a hint. It starts with the letter C.
Catalyst.
Ends in catalyst, right? A catalyst. So that answer doesn't just apply to intermediates. So I would go with instead, intermediates are things that are produced in one step and then consumed in a later step. A catalyst appears in the beginning of the reaction and then is consumed and then it's produced later on. It's like the inverse of an intermediate, but neither one of them appear in the overall reaction. So you can't just use, if they're not in the overall reaction, they're not there. Or if they're not in the overall reaction, that's not a reason why they're an intermediate. Next part. So the two parts, that concludes the reaction is third order. It is, if you have 3 things, it's third order. And then 2, the collision involves 2 NO molecules, all right, and 1 H2 molecule, and that is also true. They're both true, and you get everything from the rate law. So the rate law basically states you need 2 NO molecules, that's why it's squared, and 1 H2 molecule to collide at the same time with the same orientation and the same, all the energy to require to occur. So they're both true. And then D, why does it increase in the temperature, increase the rate constant K? When you increase the temperature, you can write that you have molecules that move faster and have more collisions with significant energy to overcome the activation energy. And that therefore will increase the value of K. You really don't need to, there's no equation that you could write that like how temperature affects K. Any questions on the first open-ended question? That was worth 6 points. Most people got all 6 points, or maybe they got one thing wrong for the not acceptable intermediate explanation. But besides that, you guys did pretty well overall. And again, whatever the rate law is, that tells you everything. So you have to go by the rate law, not the mechanism, to determine what molecules are actually colliding. All right, again, go by the rate law. 3. All right, so 3 is just calculating rate stuff. So calculate the rate of disappearance of BR2 in experiment 1. Well, if you look at the chart, we know that NOBR appears at 3.24 times 10 to the negative 4th molar per second. And we know NOBR occurs or appears at twice the amount that BR2 disappears by. So we can just take that value and cut it in half. And we get 1.62 times 10 to the negative 4th molar per second. BR2 is first order, NO is second order. So the rate law is rate equals K BR times NO squared, that's CI. And then letter I for C, the unit is 104.49, 105 is fine. And the unit would be 1 over molar squared seconds. And question 4, 0.00343 molar per second. Oh, sorry, 0.00343 molar, not molar per second. And that is the test. Any questions on the test? Anastasia, I think you need to send me one of your questions didn't send through.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think when you do remind, it only sends one picture at a time. So if you tried to send me like 2 different screenshots, it only sent me the top page. So send me that back whenever you get a chance, no big deal. I think you might have been the only one that had that problem. Does anybody have any questions on the kinetics test? Mazel tov, you finished the last test of AP Chemistry besides the final and the AP test. Yay! Okay. All right, so that is that. Let's look at that FRQ Practice 1. So let me... Let's load up that other question. Give me 1 sec. I just want to make it a little easier if I have to write on the Word document. Okay. All right. So this is made by just somebody in the face group. We're trying to figure out ideas of what model questions are going to look like. So somebody made this up. I'm sure I'll find others on there, and I'll also come up with some myself. But basically, the thought process is the AP test will consist of, like obviously you guys know 2 long questions, and they're going to be pretty far-reaching. They're going to try to hit as many of the units and topics that we covered as possible. So this is a similar question. It kind of does a ton of stuff in this one, this one question. All right, so let's start. All right, so where is this? All right, so the balanced net ionic equation. All right, so what do we think we've got? Somebody want to just say what they wrote, what they got?
NaCl. Oh,
Net ionic, net ionic.
oh, never mind. I didn't do that right.
That's okay. Well,
CO minus plus Ag plus yields AgCl.
got it. CO minus, Ag plus, and obviously this can go in any order. Ag plus or Cl minus doesn't have to go first, and then yields silver chloride. All right. Oh my God. Chloride. And then be safe, signify if you can, solid, and then these are both
Oh yeah.
aqueuses. All right, remember net ionic, spectator ions don't exist, solubility rules, group 1 metals, ammonium, and nitrates never appear in net ionic equations, ever, 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 ever. So that's question 1. All right, question 2. How many mils of 1 molar silver nitrate will be required to precipitate 5.84 grams of silver chloride? Okay. So here's what we know. We haven't written out yet, but we could write out the overall chemical reaction here. So the overall chemical reaction is going to be silver nitrate. My handwriting's awesome. Plus sodium chloride. And then you get your 2 products, sodium nitrate, which nobody cares about, and silver chloride. What is the mole ratio of everybody? What the balance reaction? Everything has what number in front?
1.
1. All right, so that's good. So if we know we have 5.84 grams of silver chloride, if we know grams, we can find out the number of moles. And if we know the moles of silver chloride, it's the same thing as the moles of silver, what?
Nitrate.
Nitrate. So you get 0.0407 moles. Okay. Well, we know that the concentration is 1 molar, so we can say 0.0407 moles over or equals 1 molar. And to find molarity, you need moles and you need volume. So the volume is also 0.0407 liters, but they don't want it in liters, they want it in milliliters. So the answer is 40.7 mils. Any question, guys, on the first 2? Who so far got the first 2 right? Show of hands. All right. All right. C, how many moles of silver chloride were produced? Okay. So the first thing we have to do is we have to look at what do we got here. So we're given the filter paper's mass originally, and then we dried it 4 times. By the way, why do you have to dry it 4 times? That's actually question F. Never mind, we'll get to that later on. So we'll use the last drying, 8.56, and we'll subtract 1.21 from that, and that'll get us the grams of silver chloride, and that's 7.35 grams.
So like between the 3rd and 4th drying, why does it increase?
Could have been like just a math error, could have been a scale error.
Okay.
You
So
know.
even if it like does that, you still use
Yeah,
the
and really, my best guess why is this is made by 1 teacher, and they just might have made a quick typo and they might have meant to do 5.6 as 3 and 5.5 as 4. But they wouldn't you wouldn't get penalized if that was written that way. They wouldn't expect you to go back to the one that's less. They wouldn't do that.
Okay.
So we have 7.35 grams. We can divide that by the molar mass, 143.82. Okay, and you get 0.0513 moles of silver chloride. All right. All good so far? Questions?
Yeah, how did you get 7.35?
Say it again.
How did you get 7.35?
7.35. I did
Yeah.
8.56. That's the weight
Yeah.
in the fourth one. And I subtracted from it the 1.21.
Oh, I did something different. Okay. I understand.
Good, Luca?
Yeah.
Okay, no worries, all good. All right, let's clear this out. All right, D, how many grams of sodium chloride were in the original mixture? Okay, so here's what we know. According to our work in letter B, we know that the equation is 1 mole to 1 mole to 1 mole to 1 mole. So if we produced 0.0513 moles of silver chloride, we started with 0.0513 moles of sodium chloride. And if we know the moles, we can multiply that by the mass, and we get 3 grams of sodium chloride for answer to D. Okay, so again, right, it's actually, let me see if I can do this. Stop sharing. I don't know if that, I'm trying to find where it is on here. Here's my D. So it's moles, right? We know the ratio is 1 to 1, and that's why I was able to find out grams of sodium chloride. Sorry, 1 second. I have to help my child out. Okay. Sorry. There you go. Okay, I apologize. E, what is the percent of sodium chloride in the mixture? Take your 3 grams, divide it by 5.84, multiply it by 100, and you get 51.4%. Okay, 51.4%. Ooh, Anna, what's your dog's name?
Frankie.
Frankie.
Yeah.
That's cute. I
He
like
likes to be
it.
held.
Nice. Here you go. F, why the student dry the mass? They dry it 4 times to make sure that the mass doesn't change. That way you know that it's completely dried out. All right, and then G, how do your results compare? So there is less salt in our mixture than what is reported. So describe one possible cause. This is not the greatest question. You could just basically simply say some salt was dropped, some salt was lost in the filter paper. Anything that can kind of give a legitimate example on why you would have a decrease in salt works here. I like this question. Like overall, I like the question. That's my least favorite part of this entire question. Too vague. All right, G or H. Based on value above, determine the nitrogen to oxygen bond energy. Okay, so this is bonds formed minus bonds broken. So, all right, so bonds formed minus bonds broken. So we are breaking 1 and 2, so it's 941, right? Plus 3 times 498. So that's the bonds we're breaking, and we're making, how many NO bonds are we technically making here?
6.
6. So it's minus 6x, because each NO, or NO3 has 3 NO bonds, and there are 2 of them, so 6. And then we know that equals -414. When you solve, you end up with 474.83 kilojoules. Since there's no decimals here, if you want to use sig figs, 475. And then the very last question, it wants to know, using Lewis structures, explain the value from H, considering that the single bond energy is 201 and the double bond energy is 607. Because the energy is between the two, we know that it's not a regular structure. This structure has resonance. And because it has resonance, the bond is between a single and a double. It's like a 1.33 bond order problem. So the energy will fall between the single value and the double value. And you know, if you guys forget, you would do like this. If you forgot how to draw that out, that would be N, O, 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 and then the double bond could be the bottom O, it could be the O to the left, or it could be O to the right. All right, and do you guys remember how to figure out, and to solve for bond order, if you forgot how to do that, you add how many bonds are there occurring. So like in this diagram, how many bonds do we have total?
4.
4, but how many places do we actually have bonds for?
3.
3, so 4 over 3 gives you, one sec pal, gives you a bond order of 1.3. What do you need, bud? You want me to put this back on? Okay. I will put them back on too. Sorry. Any questions on the FRQ?
No.
No.
All right, so that's that. Some updates for you guys on the actual AP test. All right. So more to come. There's like a webinar I'm doing on April 28th where I am going to basically take the exam. We're letting all teachers kind of like take a mock exam to practice uploading. So once I do that, I'll have more to report to you guys. But right now I have some basic info for you. One sec, buddy. If any of you guys are having issues with internet connectivity and you need help with that or mobile tools for taking the test, you need to let me know by next Friday at the latest. And then there's a site I can go to and kind of get you hooked up if you need resources for that. So if you're, again, having issues with connectivity or anything like that, for whatever reason, just let me know, shoot me a reminder about it, and we'll go from there. Next, with the week of the 27th, I'll take the mock test and I'll give you guys an update on all of the mock test stuff, including how you're going to upload answers and all of that stuff. And then you guys know there's two tests. So the make of the test is May 11th to the 15th. Or I think you can take it in June if you wanted to. I don't know why you can take it 2 different times. So I guess if you're having real issues with connectivity or something is going on the actual test date, which is May 12th, I think. Right, are we May 12th now? No.
Yeah.
May 14th or May 14th. So if something goes wrong May 14th and you can't take it, there's a makeup date, which is between June 1st and June 5th. So those are the updates I have so far, as far as that goes.
Yay.
As for the College Board, so did you guys try logging into that website, my college, like AP Classroom?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was logged into it.
Say again?
It already said that I was logged into it. Or like,
Okay, so yeah, you might already be there. I know we've just never used it before, so in case you weren't, I want to make sure you guys were able to.
Yeah.
So they unlocked for everybody all of the practice FRQ questions. So unless I messed this up, I just assigned you guys, I think like 3 or 4 questions, all on Unit 1, which is like atomic structure and like Chem 1 stuff, stoichiometry, mass percent comp, mass spec, things like that. I wanted you guys to try them out, see how you do. I'm not going to make this one a graded assignment because I don't know if everybody has access to it, but I want you guys to have the opportunity to start practicing them, and I will give you guys feedback based on your answers and based on the scoring guides that they provide me with. So do that, like that's just optional work to do, but I'll keep assigning stuff every so often. As far as the rest of the time goes, I was talking to La. What day do you guys, if you're taking physics, usually have your Zoom meetings on? With La?
Tuesday, Thursday.
Tuesday and Thursday.
Thursdays. Do you guys want to try doing it the same day? Would you prefer to do different days for you guys that are taking those classes? Do you have a preference? Do you not really give a crap because you're in your pajamas still and you're like, whatever?
I really don't. I'm
Yeah.
I really do not care.
All right. Well, let's just do Tuesday, Thursday also. What time does La do his?
11.
11.
Well, can I do 10?
Okay.
Do 12.
Yeah.
What do you prefer, 10 or 12? Seriously, I don't really care.
10.
Do you want to fry your
10.
brain with La's class after my class or vice versa?
Yeah, 10.
I'd rather
Yeah.
10?
10.
All right. What we'll do is I'll assign a FRQ question on Monday. We'll go over it Tuesday. We'll assign one Wednesday. We'll go over it Thursday. And we'll kind of bounce back and forth like that. The week leading up to the test, you guys will take your final.
Oh boy.
And your final is going to be just 7 open-ended questions.
This is gonna be bad.
Unlike the College Board test, because of your circumstance, I don't care what resources you use.
Yay.
Giant group call.
That again.
Okay, let's zoom.
Wait, the
I don't
college
really know how
board
high my eyebrows can raise on the camera, but I don't care what
Secret
resources.
Zoom call during the test.
Right, Zach? We don't care. So that'll be coming up, I would say like the first week of May. And I'll give you guys like 2 days to do it, so you don't have to rush through and stuff like that.
Okay.
Okie dokes?
Yeah.
Mr.
Very nice.
All right. Does anybody have
Maybe
any
I won't
questions
fail
for
then.
me?
Mr. Fowl,
Yeah.
did you have your baby yet?
Yeah, actually, hold on one second. Let me get her.
Yay!
Oh, like
Hold
for
on.
real? Yay. Congrats.
Yay! It makes me really happy.
Wow, he just wasn't gonna tell us. He was just gonna secretly have his baby.
Lost sent a picture like as soon as the baby came out.
Yeah.
Like 2 seconds.
It's like pink and
Yeah, like it was fresh.
It's like fresh baby.
fresh baby.
Fresh.
That's not a baby.
Window.
That's part of it.
It's only part of a baby.
Wait, so is he assigning FRQ questions like on Mondays and Wednesdays like the College Board ones?
I
think
so.
I think
Baby.
it's baby time.
Why
One Zoom call.
the AP Chem test on Tuesday, May 19th?
Wait,
Instead-
what?
Like, they had to keep the chem test before physics. They could have put it before Japanese and Italian.
Yeah.
No.
Or where Japanese and Italian is. They could have moved that.
It's a baby.
Oh, our
Wait,
baby.
where?
Where is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's too small.
I can't
Well,
see
yeah,
them.
she's 10 days old. They are kind of small.
Oh,
Oh,
that's a very young
Remember-
baby.
Remember, like, it has to come out of somebody.
That is a good
That's
point.
true.
The smaller
That's a
the
good
better.
point.
I guess
That's how that
smaller
works.
better.
What's her name?
Eleanor Ruth.
Oh,
Ellie for short.
That
Thank you.
that's so pretty.
So,
Ellie for short.
Ellie for short. Yep.
Aww.
There she is. She's crazy already. So, yes, I have it. Last Wednesday she was born at 5:41 in the
Aw.
morning. Hence why the
Wow,
lack of work
she's an
last
early
week.
bird.
Yeah. We'll see if that continues in the future. Well, if you guys have nothing else, I'm gonna go burp my child when she's done, so she spits up all over me.
Fun.
Sounds fun.
Oh, it's a blast.
We
You
love
say
that.
goodbye.
Oh my God, it's
Bye.
she's so little. Oh,
Oh, she's precious. I love
Oh.
her.
Thank you.
so little.
Guys, have a great weekend. Stay safe. I hope we get to see each other again before this year is over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Mr.
Ellie.
Fowl.
Bye.
Bye.
To Mr. Fowl.
See you later. Stage, make sure you send me that thing. Doo-doo-doo.